happens when you're trying to sleep. Ridgeside K9, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, just woke up, tired, van's loaded. We are heading north, undisclosed location, just kidding, not undisclosed. Heading up to Ohio, talk to Eric Stanbro for a little bit. So I want to show you on this road trip, man, how we do this. Check this out. This is how you really set up a van for a road trip with a dog. So I'm up front driving, double decker, queen size, foam topped air mattress in the back with a queen size down to 20 sleeping bag. Down to 20 inside of a van, you'll stay warm anywhere in the world. This is how my dog rolls though. Check this out, man. Raised cot with a pad. Right here, he'll ride right there while I'm driving almost the entire way. Now, while you're driving with a dog, see the Yeti in the back. The van's on, Yeti's charging, spotlight's charging. Hey, rock, top here. Right here, this is where he'll ride almost the entire trip. He loves it. Sometimes he hangs out on top of the sleeping bag. I don't care. 90% of the time he's right there, super comfortable. Sometimes he'll sit up in the seat and sit between me. Let's get yet another road trip underway. All right, guys, inside the van, man, how we have it set up for a road trip. Something really important. Check this out. This is my cycling ice machine. I don't know why I call it that, but that's just what it is. It's full of ice water and ice. Got a little pad right there while I'm driving, hooks up to my shoulder, plugs into the inverter right underneath of that lip, and I can literally freeze and ice my shoulder while I'm driving. Dog road trip, man. 2 energy drinks on deck, ready to go. That's what it is right there, man. Backpack, seat belted in as always. More energy drinks and protein drinks right there. A little neck pedal support. Ice machine plugged in, ready to go. Backup shoes in case we hit some snow. A little bit of lit, raw energy drinks. All right, guys, here we go. The road trip is underway. We are, hold on, off-road in the driveway. My driveway is bad. If you come to my house, please have 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, or if you have 2-wheel drive, once you get momentum, do not stop. Go fast. The driveway is bad right now after the winter, man. Had some workers over, their big trucks just chewed it up. Anyway, here we go, going into the mountain. Allegheny Mountain. Cutting through the bypass, not the bypass, cutting through the cut through. I've been driving for a long time, man. 6:45, I've been driving for 3 hours. Listening to some podcasts, rocking a new audio book, jumping back and forth on some YouTube music. Just gotta keep stacking them up, man. Look at them lights just rolling. All right, guys, it's about 7:30. I've been driving since literally 3:45. Hey, get my shit. Oh, my boy. There he is right there, boy. Yeesha. Taking a little break. I'm actually in a parking lot of a gas station, man. I'll tell you about that. So I'm laying down in the van. Got the blocker up right there. Got the blocker up in the front. Got big man right next to me. I'm in a sleeping bag. It's about 18 degrees outside. We are in northern Pennsylvania. And I'm going to take a nap here real quick. I'm getting real tired, man. When you get real tired, it's real critical. Oh, that's, you can see us a little bit. It's real critical that you actually stop and take a nap. So the value of these vans, I can't overstate them, man. They're the best road trip vehicle on the face of the planet. Right now, I'm gonna show you how I do. I just wear a little knit cap. It's way oversized. I can pull it down right over my eyes. Got a pistol next to me. Got a Dutch Shepherd to the left, and I'm gonna rack out. Get about 30-minute nap. Wake back up. Drive again. Drive safe. It absolutely beats, man, sleeping in the front seat of a car. You can't even compare. What happens when you're trying to sleep? Somebody walks up on the side of the van and they look through the window. Real talk, and I don't worry too much about it. That's school. So, all right. They walked away. Okay, hey, So I'm up off the turnpike, man, and sleeping. I'm in the van. Windows are covered. I'm outside of a McDonald's, and I know they're a little too close. But one of the valuable things, you know, I'm back here sleeping. I got a gun on this side. I got a gun right there. I'm not worried about somebody breaking in the van. That would be a, you know, obviously an unpleasurable experience for me, but it would also be an unpleasurable experience for them. But the reality is, traveling with a dog, man, your sidekick, this is not a service dog, but he's my service dog, and he's my PTSD dog, and he goes everywhere with me now. And he was a good dog at the right time for the right reasons. And if I'm sleeping in this van, you cannot sneak up to the van. You can't. And I promise if you open the door or the window, you'll be absolutely surprised by a 100-pound Dutchie that it won't allow it. There's people next to the van right now in the car. Quiet. But it is a good feeling when you can sleep and not worry too much about being surprised, and you can sleep and not worry too much about somebody sliding up on you. Guys, that's what I love about a van, man. I can be in this parking lot right here sleeping. And nobody knows. Always waiting on the inside, baby. Always ready to go. Lock the door. First thing you should always do when you get inside a vehicle is lock the door. Don't do anything else when you get inside a vehicle, but lock the door every single time. Then you start the car. All right, guys, so little nap is down. Van's ready to go, warming up a second. I got my driving rig back on. What's a driving rig? I'm dealing with a pretty serious injury right now. An injury that actually I should be like laid up at the house resting, but the show goes on. The show always goes on, man. Never, ever let a little injury define you or keep you from getting business done, getting things done, progressing forward, going to work, taking care of business. You can't sit on the couch, man. Time will pass you by, and time doesn't care. Nobody cares. They care about you about the first 5 seconds you get injured, and then after that, the show goes on. This is cool, man. This is an ice blanket. The nice part about it, there's a little cooler down on the floor. It's plugged into the inverter. There's ice, 4 frozen water bottles with about 6 inches of water. Grabs that, makes the water super cold from the cold ice, and then circulates it through this wrap. And then the wrap can go on my shoulder while I'm driving. Then I got a little pillow underneath my arm, and I'm good to go, man. I can literally go coast to coast like this. Doesn't bother me at all. No, it hurts like hell, but it's okay. The show goes on. So that's it, man. In closing this short video, think about this for a second, right? Everybody wants a serious dog. We get requests about buying serious dogs all the time. I want to buy a Malinois. I want to buy a Dutch Shepherd. I want a protection dog. I want blah, blah, blah. Remember, it's all good right up until it's not. Everybody wants to live with a serious dog right up until you actually live with a serious dog, okay? Right up until you have to travel with a serious dog. Right up until you have to board a serious dog. Then everything becomes a pain in the ass. Every aspect of it, every livability second of it becomes a pain in the ass. So before you get super deep into the situation of protection dog, ask you this: does a dog define you? Nope. Will the dog actually protect you in real life? Best protection dogs in the world? Most likely no. Will the dog actually cause more damage than good in the sense of being able to quickly de-escalate a situation, get the hell out of there, and live to fight another day? Most likely yes. Does a dog create a liability for you that will probably make you way overconfident in an actual dangerous situation where your life's on the line and force you to actually try to test yourself and your dog, thus getting you and your dog killed, you and your dog maimed, causing your dog to utterly fail, etc., etc. If any of that makes sense to you, which if you've been involved in real violence or you've seen real violence or you've been around real violence, you could definitely understand. Remember this: a little Chihuahua on the front seat will do the same thing as Big Man will, right? Most likely with more hypervigilance than Big Man even has, because he goes to sleep sometimes. Reality is this: if you want protection at all times, then you have protection. And all around you in a vehicle on a road trip, you should have firearms. That's protection. That keeps you safe. Firearms in the back, firearms in the front, firearms on your hip. That keeps you safe in a real world situation. That allows you to make a little bit of noise, get the hell off the X, and wait for real help to arrive. Sending your dog, protection dog, sending it to engage someone is most likely certain death for your dog. But let's just say the dog does bite them. What's next? Think about it. Everybody trains to bite people, but nobody understands what happens next. Some people do, I do, been through it in real life. What happens next? You jump in a car and leave your dog? Possibly. Do you sacrifice your dog knowing you're sending him on a death mission? Possibly. Do you wait for help, call the police? You just committed an aggravated malicious wounding. So like, it ain't like you can just send the dog, recall the dog, load up and leave. Good luck. You'll most likely be in prison, right? There's a lot that goes into your dog biting someone on the street for real. If it does, that person better be within like 24 to 36 inches of you. The first person sends their dog as a civilian protection dog and engages someone 10, 20, 30 feet away. Let's see how that one plays out. Aggravated malicious wounding is worse than attempted murder in most states. It is in Virginia. You know what I mean? Attempted murder is like 5 to 10. Aggravated malicious wounding is like 50 or something crazy like that. So just remember, man, a lot goes into living with, deploying with, and having a protection dog. Does he protect the van? 100%. Does he protect the house? 100%. But he's actually a super sweet dog. If you met him outside the van or outside the house, everybody loves him. He's super sweet, loves to get pet, loves affection. But he'll rock this van trying to go through a window. He'll rock the house trying to get through if you come to the house, right? But I don't rely on him for protection. It's silly. I never relied on my police dog for protection. I relied on my firearm and my radio. The police dog was a tool and part of the toolkit, right? He was a tool in the toolbox, but he wasn't there to protect me. My God, I was the one putting him into dangerous situations all the time. He was a locator tool, isolation tool, right? Locate, isolate, contain. That was his job. His job wasn't to protect me. That's a mythical fantasy that doesn't really play out in the real world. Trust me on that one. But it's all good, man. Do we sell protection dogs? The answer to that's no. Can we facilitate that transaction? Absolutely. Is a protection dog the ends all be all? No. Is it awesome traveling with a big dog who will alert, who will poke his head out the window and bark, who will keep people away from the vehicle? Yeah, it's awesome. That part's good, you know. And if the presentation of a dog, this is an old, we're going way back here, but the presentation of force will reduce the necessity of force. Always remember that. The presentation of force will reduce the necessity of force. So if a 100-pound dog barking at the window, shaking the vehicle is enough to repel somebody trying to come in, thus keeping you from having to shoot that person for trying to carjack you or rob you, then it's a great tool. It's a great thing. Just don't rely on that dog to be the ends-all, be-all stopgap that protects you and your family, because in reality, I am telling you, I don't care how good your dog looks in PSA and KMPV and APPD, I'm not being disrespectful, that APPDA, whatever it's called, police dog, etc. I don't care how much you think your dog will protect you. I don't care how many scenarios you do. The dog knows it's training, man. The dog knows it's a game. Trust me on this one. Trust me on this one, okay? The dog knows it's a game. The dog's been rehearsed. The dog's seen that picture 1,000 times in order to produce the desired results that you want. Maybe it works in real life, maybe it doesn't. But also ask yourself this, right? Your dog does like phenomenal on the carjacking scenario, which is a very popular scenario now in a couple different dog sports. What are you gonna do the first time you're in a parking lot of McDonald's per se, or gas station, your window's down a little bit because it's hot, you weren't thinking, you had a slight oversight, and the autistic kid next to your car walks up and sticks his arm through the window of your car, and your dog nukes him and rips off his forearm and does, like, you know, grave damage. I don't know if y'all can see all those scars on my arm. Probably not right there. Maybe you can. You know, if your forearms get ripped off your body, what are you gonna do? Oh, the kid stuck his arm through the window. Good luck. Good luck with that one. Good luck, right? What are you gonna do when your dog freelances and the lady is parked really close next to you at a who knows what, happens to walk by your car? Just walk by it, but your window was down. The dog reaches out and grabs her in the shoulder and pulls her into the window. Kiss it goodbye, man. You got to be so accountable for every little thing your dog does. You are operating with a predator, with a wolf, and you're relying on that predator to make the right decision at the right time. And people confuse the skits, that's what they are, the rehearsed skits of dog sport, as some measure of reliability for what their dog is going to do in their real life. And it just doesn't work like that at all. You know, there's a reason why police dogs are behind metal screens and actual containment inside of a vehicle. Police dog can't choose to come out and bite somebody, because we all know how that would play out, right? There would be a million accidental bites on top of the million accidental bites that are already going on right now. It'd be a disaster. So you got to really think about this kind of stuff, man. It's stuff that boggles my mind. The amount of civilian instructors that have never used force, never had force used against them, never killed someone, never seen someone die, never seen a dog bite in real life play out, never been involved in any of this stuff, but they're now civilian instructors of law enforcement. Man, this is crazy. They're case law experts, they're use of force deployment experts, they're canine policy experts. They've never done the job. Those that can do, and those that cannot do, teach. Never forget that. Just remember, man, there's a lot of really good cops, there's a lot of really smart cops, there's a lot of really good cops that are also really smart, all in one little package right there. I'd be very careful getting advice on anything to do with the real world deployment, even in sport, from people that have never been through it, never been sued, never been sitting in a grand jury, never been sitting in federal court. If they haven't experienced those things, I'd be very cautious, right? The first time you explain to a millionaire that bought a protection dog, hey, if your dog bites somebody, you know, you could potentially be looking at aggravated malicious wounding. Best case scenario. All right, for clarity, because I know somebody's gonna DM me, PM me, call me, text me, email me, whatever, and say this. But listen, I'm not saying if your dog accidentally bites someone, it's all over. I'm not saying that at all. Accidental bites happen all the time. What I'm talking about is you as the handler are in care and custody of your dog as a civilian, and you send your dog knowingly and intentionally to go apprehend someone who prior assaulted you, something like that. You better make sure you know exactly what you're doing and that the law is 100% on your side. Like, it better be a legit fleeing felon situation where you do not know the identity of the person, the crime was egregious and a felony, and the individual's continued escape or pursuit into the community would be of grave harm to the community. You know, basically putting Graham versus Connor into a civilian context. You better be real damn careful. I'm telling you, you will be in jail. Like, trust me on this one. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying if you have an accidental bite with your dog, it's all over. No, that's what insurance is for. That's what cash settlements are for, things like that. I'm talking about you train your dog for 2 or 3 years to bite people. You instruct your dog to bite people. You groom your dog to bite people. And then you send your dog to bite someone. It'll be problematic, to say the least. But that's all good, man. You do you. You do what you want to do. You know, we sell police dog protection dog. We don't sell, we facilitate. So, you know, we're involved in that market, so we understand it intimately. We all have our own dogs. All my guys, for the most part, are prior canine guys, and this is the discussions we have. So, you know, on the staff alone, man, I have like 9 canine guys that are all retired or at least 15 years in canine and now work for me. So you get like 9 guys like that, all talking, all civilian pet dog trainers now. And they're all talking about a lot of the stuff they see that's just effing crazy. Absolutely insane, man. And I don't know, man, it boggles my mind. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You know what the ending is gonna be because you've been through it, and you're watching it happen, and it just continues to happen in slow motion. You know, the other thing to think about this, if you're a civilian decoy and you're working with law enforcement, what's gonna happen when that police dog has an accidental bite and they get sued and the person comes after everyone involved, to include the trainers, which is normal? Where do you fall into that pendulum at? Anybody thought about that? Hasn't been really thought about yet because there hasn't been a lawsuit on it yet. It will happen. And then you're gonna get a civilian in there and they're gonna say, and who are you? And they're gonna say, oh, I'm the decoy, I work on bite work. And the defensive counsel's gonna say, so you taught the dog to bite, right? And boastfully, they're gonna be like, I was responsible for that dog's bite. I put that dog's content on my social media. I call that dog a savage, a man-eater, a crusher. I used all these words, and that dog's just, he's a killer. And they're gonna say, and who trained you? And they're gonna go, oh, Billy did. Who's Billy? Oh, he also runs a civilian club. Okay, Billy, DCJS certified in law enforcement background. No, okay. Who trained Billy? Oh, Tommy did. Who's Tommy? Oh, he's the same thing as Billy. Who trained Tommy? Oh, Alex did. Who the fuck's Alex? Right? This will get unraveled so fast in court. Trust me on this one. And then you'll get a cop, never me, I would never testify for defense, but you'll get a cop like me who has a degree from George Washington, who has 16 years in law enforcement, top secret clearance from the military, owns a small business, is in the business of protection and police dogs, and they'll put somebody like me on the stand. Not me, I would never do it. They'll put somebody like me on there that goes, this is crazy. This was a train wreck waiting to happen, and this is what happened, right? It's insane, man. So, that's it. You do you. Enjoy life, man. Live it to the fullest, do what makes you happy. Chase your passions. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with anything anybody's doing, man. I'm in no position to judge or say one thing is wrong or right. Lord knows I've made a million mistakes in my life. And for a lot of people, just so everybody else knows, a lot of these instructors or decoys out there, they do this for free. That's the truth. I would never do it for free. And most of them do it for free to an extent, or very, 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 very little amount of money. So there's a market for it. You know, and for those guys that do it and they put their heart and soul into it, my heart goes out to them because I know their heart's in the right place, the passion's in the right place,
but they haven't seen the dark side of law enforcement yet. All they know is meeting on a K9 field, hanging out, shaking some hands, getting some cool social media photos, and then rolling out. They have no idea, zero, what it's like to sit by yourself, witness sequestered, everybody by themselves, sitting up in federal court for a use of force lawsuit, not able to talk, not knowing what's being said, and then you're going in there on your own, and the stakes are very high. The stakes are through the roof, right? You haven't seen that side yet. And you can read all the case law, and I know that it means nothing. It means nothing. Trust me on that one. It means nothing in court. So think about it. Ask yourself why a lot of cops don't do it anymore. Ask yourself why a lot of professionals won't do it anymore. Ask yourself that. Ask yourself why some of the best decoys in America won't work with civilians. Ask yourself that, right? There's a lot, man. It's just, and it's sad. It's a sad state. It's sad times for everything involved, but it is what it is. I'll say it now, and I've said it before for about the last 24 months. People aren't going to like what I'm going to say right now, but it's just my opinion. It's my thought, right? And I could be wrong. I'm wrong on a million things. I'm wrong all the time. But I've been pretty right on business. But police bite dogs are going away. Trust me on this. You're going to see hounds and detection location dogs come into play a lot. You're going to see tracking dogs come into play. You're going to see the proliferation of explosive, narcotics, currency, glue and electronics, cadaver. You're going to see all those dogs continue to be there. They're never going away. You're going to see a lot of tracking dogs start coming. You're going to see a remarketing of bloodhounds and hounds and tracking dogs, trailing dogs, stuff like this. It's going to all be there. Apprehension dogs, I promise you, and most likely a decade or less, are going away. There's a couple major jurisdictions in the DC metro area, big jurisdictions, national level jurisdictions, that are moving away from bite dogs as we speak. They're not replacing them. One goes down, it's one less in a unit. One goes down, one less in a unit. A lot of detection dogs, a lot of tracking dogs, very few apprehension dogs. So, before you know it, it'll be civilians only with bite dogs, and civilians only teaching bite dogs, and civilians only running certifications for bite dogs. And then you know the horses have left the barn, to say the least.